Hello friends, hello record collectors. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna do an episode about weird, obscure and wonderful concept albums. Often psychedelic or progressive or folk albums from the late 60s, early 70s. And these are albums that are not the most obvious ones. It's not like The Wall by Pink Floyd or Tommy by The Who. These are more obscure albums, most of them. Some are mainly known by record collectors and haven't reached a big audience. But what they have in common is that they are story driven. So the storylines are often completely bonkers. Totally weird stories that only like hippies could come up with in the late 60s, early 70s. So I'm gonna show you 5 concept albums and talk a little bit about them and what the story is and show the pressings and everything and play some music samples as I always do. So let's just dig into this psychedelic concept album episode.
High wall, city, country bowl, 2 square on your body. Then I'll begin.
Yeah, we're gonna start with one of the first concept albums by a pop band, and it's Nirvana with Story of Simopath. And this album came out even before Sgt. Pepper, so it's a really early one. And Nirvana was one of the first bands to be signed to Island Records. And this is the UK mono pressing that I have in a very, very flimsy, thin and cover, gatefold cover. You know, a cover where a unipack cover, where they put the disc inside here. I will put a cardboard inside there to give it more strength. And Nirvana was mostly 2 guys. That's Alex Spyropoulos and Patrick Campbell-Lyons. One Greek and one Irishman who formed this band together with some other musicians. And they play some fantastic baroque pop. Very like dreamy, lush, orchestrated psych pop. The story here is about a boy called Simopath who lives in some kind of future. It's like a science fiction concept. Basically, he wants to grow wings to escape the dull world he's living in, and he wants to fly away. And for some reason, he contacts the Ministry of Dreams to apply for a job where he can go out to be a satellite jockey in space. And there he meets a centaur. Yes, really a centaur. And together they are like traveling around in space, and eventually he finds love with this girl called Magdalena, and they are crowned king and queen of some place in space. I'm not really sure. Totally weird, totally wonderful, and one of the first concept albums. And I have the first Island press here on rough labels. This is the mono pressing. As you can see there, it's Act 1. And on the other side we have Act 2. So a really odd and charming slice of British psychedelia from 1967.
Little swallow in the sky, permit me to entice you with a bargain. I will give you all my sweets, a comic book, a clock that sings. If you will let me have your lovely wings.
Next up is a full-blown weirdo psych concept album from 1970. It's a Magic Shoemaker by Fire. With this lovely cover. And Fire, they were a short-lived band. They released a single prior to this called My Father's Name is Dad. It's like a monster single, really good one. But here they have come up with some kind of really lousy concept. I mean the story is just ludicrous. It's about a shoemaker who discovers that he can make magic shoes that can make him fly. And there's a story about a wicked king and a good king. and he eventually tries to bring peace between these two kings, and he flies away with his magic shoes to save the good king, and it's all peace in the end. And it's like a really, really bad story. And this album, all the songs here are written by David Lambert, who later on became very successful with the band The Strawbs. So this is before The Strawbs, but it's by David Lambert, who wrote all the songs. And he is also the narrator between the songs. He tells the story to a bunch of children. And this is just like, it's so bad. It's like listening to Nigel from Spinal Tap telling a story to children. It's really hard to describe. I have to insert some audio sample of it.
When they saw the king flying in the sky, they were all completely startled, and they all dropped down their swords and threw away their bows and arrows, and they all ran completely, leaving the king on his own in the castle.
But it's fun to listen to. But I mean, the story is really ridiculous, but there's some really great psychedelic pop and psychedelic rock hidden between these narratives. And it came out on Pi Records, classic blue Pi label. And this is a really hard one to find. And I got it cheap long time ago. These days it goes for quite a bit of money, but I probably wouldn't pay that money now. But since I got it a long time ago for a totally different price, I'm keeping this, and I think it's a great and cool psychedelic concept album that's not very well known. So, Magic Shoemaker by Fire. Okay, now we're gonna go to Ireland, and one of the rarest psych folk albums from Ireland. And it's also a concept album, and it's called Children of Lur by Loudest Whisper. And you can see this is a absolutely super fragile cover. My copy is pretty good. Often they are totally trashed. Really thin, and it's printed with some kind of, I'm not sure, gold maybe. Really thin color. So it's very hard to find in good condition. And this is an absolutely wonderful folk psych album that came out in 1975. And the band were called Loudest Whisper. And they made a concept album about a classic Irish tale called Children of Lur. It's basically about 4 kids to a king that were transformed into swans and had to live on different lakes in Ireland for like 900 years before they were rescued by Christianity. I'm not really sure what the story is about, but the music is absolutely fantastic. This was originally made for a theatrical stage production, so it's a whole ensemble here with not just the band. They have different singers, some wonderful female vocalists are on here, and the band of course, and then they have a big choir singing some songs. And some songs are really like gentle folk psych with these female vocalists, some string arrangements. Some goes into more like rock territories with some fuzz guitars. And yeah, it's wonderful music, very much of its time, 1975. A bunch of hippies are putting up a play about this old Irish legend. And came with a like booklet where you can read and follow the story here. It was released on Polydor, so it's a major major release. This is the Irish pressing from 1975. And yeah, it's monster rare to find, I would say. And I was really lucky to find it quite a long time ago when I had my folk psych period when I was like hunting down the most obscure psych folk albums from UK. So I have a lot of stuff like this in my collection, but I got them like 10-15 years ago. But I absolutely love this, and I'm very glad that I have a copy of this monster rare psych folk album, Children of Lair.
We are children of the dawn, looking for the sun. Will we ever see it shine in the days to come?
The next one is probably the most famous in this bunch of records, and it's Small Faces, Ogdens Not Gone Flake from 1968. And this is actually not 100% a concept album. The B-side, called Happiness Stan, is a concept, but the A-side is just filled with classic, brilliant Small Faces music from the peak of their career. And this was, of course, released in this round cover that you could fold up like this. See if I can do it without destroying it. And like that. Absolutely brilliant cover of this like tobacco tin can or whatever it's supposed to be. I'm going to show you on the Lilac immediate label. And this is a stereo pressing. It also came in mono. The B-side on this LP is called Happiness Stan, and it's a story about a guy called Happiness Stan, of course. And he's like this carefree character that one day take a look at the sky and see that it's only half of the moon there. So he goes out on a quest to try to search for the other half of the moon. The album is narrated by a guy called Stanley Unwind. That's a UK actor that was famous for having this really made-up language, kind of Cockney British gibberish language, hard to follow, but you can kind of follow what he's talking about.
Oh, after all, he struggly triddly house several mile out, and anyone would suffer under this. So suddenly he did deep focus, out with his lunchy bag, just about to do a little nibload of his mincy meaty when...
So he tells the story, and between his story there are some absolutely fantastic Small Faces music. Anyway, I'm not sure if he finds the other half of the moon, but he finds some guy called Mad John. That's like a guru or a prophet or something that teach him about happiness and living peaceful and hippy-dippy weirdo stuff. And I absolutely love this, Small Faces, and I absolutely love Small Faces, period. I think they were a fantastic band. And this was the last LP they did before Steve Marriott went on to do this other band that I really don't care about, Humble Pie. Maybe they're good, I'm not sure. I haven't listened too much. But Small Faces is absolutely brilliant. And let's listen a little bit to The Hungry Intruder.
Voice I hear, I can look this way in the landscape of your play.
The last one I'm gonna show today is not from the UK, it's a band from the Netherlands, and it's Group 1850 with Agemo's Trip to Mother Earth, released in 1968 in this like 3D cover. And actually, when you open up the gatefold here, you have some 3D glasses in here, so you can put them on to get look through these glasses to the surprising sleeve and discover the three-dimensional picture of Group 1850. This is made in Holland, the original Philips label from '68. But this is a really cosmic psychedelic trip. The music-wise, it sounds a bit like the early Pink Floyd. Think Saucer Full of Secrets era. Really like spaced out psych rock. And the story here is about a guy called Agemo that lives on another planet, or maybe it's like a parallel universe to the Earth. Like a utopia where everything is perfect and they live in peace and harmony and everything like that. But he has heard about a place called Earth and he wants to visit it for some reason. And the reason is, you can read here, he wants to... you could never be perfect without the experience of imperfection. So he, by like concentrating and looking at an apple, he can like teleport himself back to Earth. And on Earth, he see all these wars and the traffic jams and the corruption and all the evil that men do. I'm not sure if he kind of figure out what to do here, but you can read the full story inside the gatefold together with the lyrics, and continues here. And I have shown this album before. I bought it in Den Bosch, so it's in my Den Bosch video. But I didn't talk too much about it in that video, so I thought this was a good topic to dig into this a little bit more. Yeah, weird sci-fi kind of concept album about, maybe it's a commentary on the way we live on Earth with wars and pollution and stuff like that. And but it's really like hippy-dippy stuff and really like cosmic spaced out music.
Staring at the light, I disappear, losing all the time. Paradise is near. Searching lips, painting hands.
That was Agemo's Trip to Mother Earth by Group 1850. Fine psychedelic music from the Netherlands. Yes, that was a few of my psychedelic concept albums that I have in my collection. I have more, but I thought these 5 would be great. And yeah, it was a really creative time for music in the late 60s, early 70s. Everything was possible. They always tried new stuff and they didn't really know what they were going with things, so they just like played around with doing concept albums. Sometimes it worked brilliantly, but often, as now 50 years later, it sometimes feel a bit corny or a bit like I said, like Spinal Tap or something. But I personally, I just love that kind of weird stuff, and I love to collect these kinds of records. So put down a comment. What's your favorite psychedelic concept album from way back in the days? There are quite a few, and I haven't gone into concept albums from the US. I guess there are many psychedelic concept albums from America, so put down a comment and give me some suggestions. Really fun episode to do, and always nice to show you some rare records. So until next time, be sure to buy some records and expand your mind with new music, explore new stuff, and be kind to each other, and Make love, not war. Peace out.